OneNote fans, it's Tracy Smith, and I wanted to show you a little bit about how I archive my old weekly planners, as a couple of people had asked me about it when I mentioned it in the group. I do my planners on a weekly basis. I know some of you guys do a daily basis. That's just too much for me. I like to see it in a weekly view. That's the most helpful way for me to manage my tasks and things that I have going on. What I currently am showing you is my filing cabinet notebook. That's actually my long-term storage. It's kind of my archives, so to speak. So I like to keep my regular notebooks that I use on a daily basis fairly lean, and keep them to just the things that I need on a regular basis. So anything that I'm not using after I haven't used it for a month or so or a couple months, I tend to move it into this long-term storage where I still have access to it if I should need it, but it's not kind of cluttering up my regular notebooks. And I have had a couple people ask about the different notebooks I use on a daily basis. I'm going to do a separate video on that and kind of explain and show you how I organize those. So we'll get into that a little bit later. So in this filing cabinet notebook, as you can see, I have sections for different things that I like to file in here. Receipts, when I pay bills, if I get electronic receipts, I send those to that section. This collection section is kind of like my inbox in my notebook. I have a little dashboard, links to some of my most common notebooks. But this is the default section. If I were to create a quick note, either from my phone or a tablet or something, this is where it defaults to. That way, if I'm not sure what notebook it needs to be put in, this is where it goes to. And then I move it to the appropriate place. And so down here at the bottom, you can tell this is where I've archived all my 2018 planners. I do both a weekly planner and then I also do monthly when I pay my bills. I do a bill payment log, and so that those go in this section here. And these are my old planners, so those have already been moved over here. And I've already made a section for 2019. And in fact, while I was testing it, I went ahead and moved over my first quarter's planners. After the quarter's over, I take my weekly planners and organize them in a quarterly subsection. That's just the easiest way for me to keep access to them and not clutter up that regular notebook. So let me move back to my personal notebook that I work with on a daily basis. That's this one right here. And I need to sync it apparently. So we'll go ahead and do that. So these are the sections for all the different areas of my life. As far as I have a section for planning and quick notes and all the different things that I need to keep up with. As you can tell, I'm using the Windows 10 version of OneNote, even though the 2016 version is going to continue to be available. I started getting used to this when I thought the other one was going away, and now I've gotten to where this is the version that I prefer. It just looks a little more modern and clean to me, and that's what I like. So I did also create myself a template section in here because obviously you only have that access in 2019, in the 2016, pardon me, version. So any templates I've created, I have a few of those in here. I've just recently created that, so there's not too many in there. I do have some templates in my planning section as well. So when you look at my weekly planners here, I have them, as I mentioned, I have them organized by quarters. Somehow my second quarter one got bumped down here to the bottom. And so I take them after I'm finished with them and move them into a section underneath the month, and just by making them subpages. And then I have, so this is second quarter here, April, May, and June. And then when that quarter's over, then I can just collapse that. So I have second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. As you can tell, December 2019 is not currently in that fourth quarter yet because it's not over. I won't move December into the fourth quarter and move that one into the archive notebook until after December is completely over. And after the month, I do a monthly reflection planning kind of how the month went. Something that I got from Michelle Christensen here in this group, a great idea of hers. And that's when I'll move that quarter over there. So these two will kind of stay like they are until sometime in January when I'll bump them over there as well. So, but now to show you how easy this is to do, I'll go ahead and take my second quarter's planners here, and I just simply right click on them, and when the menu comes up here, select Move Copy, and then it's going to ask me what notebook I want to put it in. I'll go back and find the filing cabinet one, scroll down here to the section that says 2019 Old Planners, and select Move. You can tell that once I do this, it's going to take a couple minutes because I'm moving 3 months worth of weekly files, and a lot of those files have pictures, links, just whatever things that I've put in them over the week. So doesn't move instantly. It's going to take a couple minutes, but I just give it time to work. And I tend to be a multitasker. So if I wasn't recording this video, I would probably also be grading papers or doing something on my desk while that was working. So now it has moved, so I'm going to go over and check on it, make sure it's in the right place in the filing cabinet, and it's there. For some reason, OneNote automatically expands that section once it moves it, but now I have first quarter and second quarter where I want them. So I will go back to my personal notebook and select third quarter of 2019 and go ahead and move it as well. Move copy, go back to the filing cabinet, scroll down there to my 2019 old planners, and it's going to go. Like I said, it takes a minute or two to get that done. And then once I have those over there, I will be creating a section for January of 2020. Part of what I've been doing today is kind of deciding how I want to tweak my planning system for 2020. I made a comment in the group that one of the things I wanted to do was handle my daily tasks a little bit different. I love OneNote, but OneNote to me doesn't have a very effective way of managing your tasks. And so I have been actually experimenting with Microsoft to do, because Microsoft has announced that in 2020 they're going to be integrating it with OneNote. So I'm kind of getting started using it. I've been playing with it and with Google Tasks, but between the two, I really think I like the Microsoft the best. And so now that I go back and double check and look in that filing cabinet, when I click there, like I said, it's expanded again, but now I have first, second, and third quarter. So I will move the uh, fourth quarter section over there as soon as fourth quarter is finished. And then I will also go in and move in this private section. Here's where I keep my bill planners. And I'll also go over and go in and move those over as well. I've actually been tweaking that bill planning template just a little bit to suit my needs better for 2020. And so I'm going to make myself a template, put it in my templates section down here. And once I've done that, I'll move those as well. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.